Hi guys, welcome to my astrological channel, and today we will discuss the 2020 presidential election, Biden versus Trump, who will win, and key astrological predictions, key astrological patterns, personalities of both candidates. Look on this video and watch it.
Astrology is about the time. So in order to do valid 2020 presidential elections, we need the valid birth data for Donald Trump and Joe Biden as well. So the valid data you can find in astro.com/astrodatabank. So here there is a lot of celebrity charts. You can just search or search in Google the Astro Data Bank and you can find the information. So for Donald Trump, he was born on 14 June 1946 at 10:54 a.m. in Jamaica Hospital in Queens, New York. So here is his birth chart. So Joe Biden was born in 20 November 1942 in 8:30 a.m. in Scranton, Pennsylvania. So this data we will use as reference point to start our predictions. Just as a reminder, every astrological predictions for you or any you need the valid data. So to start, begin with. So let's go through the personality overview and look into about the Donald Trump and Biden personalities. So let's begin the personality review and start from the Donald Trump chart. So his personality type is extrovert. His ascendant is in Leo. Mars is in Leo as well on the ascendant. Sun is Gemini. Moon is in Sagittarius. So all his key combinations located in active signs. So he is extremely extroverted personality, which makes him overconfident. Usually he firstly talk, then think about what what he's talking. He's really confident in his personality. He's kind of very competitive, sometimes aggressive. He's kind of badass and it's comfortable for him. So he's very active, competitive personality. So let's go to the highlighted by the stars. So stars usually signifies any fixed star signifies the importance of the personality. So Donald Trump has the Venus conjunct with Procyon. So his lifestyle is extremely popular. Even before presidency, he is very popular in the world of this style and uh, like in this celebrity world. So Procyon conjunction with Venus signifies it. So he's really highlighted by this. And we will always know Trump about the Trump Towers, the Trump casinos, and his lifestyle, his marriages, his celebrity life. So he's pretty much shining personality. Also, he has the North Node conjunct with Capella, the Gemini star. It's also very popular in the world of politics. So he is really highlighted by the stars. So his birth chart is extremely powerful to proceed and be successful in life. So the key configuration in his chart. So the first one is Sun conjuncts North Node and Uranus in Gemini in 10th house. So this makes him unpredictable, very scandalous, a very hype-oriented person. So he is a really newsmaker person. So he can make scandal on like everywhere. So he is a little bit aggressive. He's really unpredictable, and it's interesting for news, and it's interesting in the world of media. So he is truly the person for the 21st century. He's like hype oriented person. The second configuration is Mars on the ascendant. So rising Mars is extremely competitive, extremely aggressive. So his image is kind of very aggressive, very masculine, and he's comfortable with it. So the roles of like badass or the very aggressive guy, so for him it's truly it's his role, and that is why usually he divide the people. It's like the most divisive president, of course, because conflict it really his nature, because Mars usually signifies the conflicts, and the people who has the strong Mars in their charts, the people who can take a lot from the challenge. So the challenge and the conflicts is natural side of the Donald Trump. The third one, important combinations, is his Venus and Saturn conjunction in the sign of Cancer. So Venus and Saturn conjunction usually signifies a lot of wealth when person born. So the similar configurations we can find in the chart of Jeff Bezos and the Bill Gates. All of these guys born with lots of wealth. They are not the poor guys. They have the extremely educated parents. They have extremely bright future, and the same for Donald Trump. He really truly born with a lot of money already. So Venus and Saturn is very powerful combinations for wealth. And here in the sign of Cancer, it means that it's related to real estate business of his father, and he's truly have a great start in his life according with wealth. Also, the fourth combination is the Sun opposition to Moon. So it means he was born under full moon. So such people is very active and ambitious. They have a natural activity side. So because Sun and Moon combinations usually signifies our activity and how we make something happen. So here is a very active person. So for Donald Trump, it's always important to be on the first pages. Always important to say something important in the news and be popular. So it is his true nature. Also, through the Uranus, Sun, and North Node, and the Moon in the Sagittarius, this makes him the true believer in individualistic society with a power of like big corporations made by some people. So he is truly believes in the free economy with a lot of tax cuts for big corporations. So if people want to do something, they need just to do something. Yes, he is not a big fan of socialism or some kind of this systems. He is a true believer of open free market economy in all aggressive ways of entrepreneurship. So this is also one of the key characteristics of the Donald Trump. Let's go to his the progression chart where we can find these current motivation of the Donald Trump and his willpower now on this moment. So to emphasize, there is a lot of planets in the 10th house, in progress house. So Sun, Mercury, and Pluto is in 10th house. So the location, especially the location of the Pluto in the 10th progressed house, makes the Donald Trump is true like believer in some kind of dictatorship. So he really have the willpower to be like a dictator. He sympathizes them a lot. He make a lot of statements about the Putin. Yes, and he really appreciate these strong personalities with strong dictatorship. So Pluto in progress 10th house usually signifies this manipulations, the dirty tricks for power. So it's through the configuration of the power above all of the things. Also, Mercury in progression is in a sign of Leo. and it means that he's very shiny, very charismatic when he talks about something. He usually saying something, and after this, he think about this, but it's very charismatic. So even he says something very stupid thing, he is extremely attractive with this. So Mercury in Leo makes this true energetic attraction for the words, even it's very stupid things. So this is a very charismatic position for the speech, for debates. That is why he usually in the best side to make some debates, or some newsmaker. There's a lot of planets in the 12th progressed house. So this is meaning his hidden power. Yes, because even his voters is not open that they will vote for Donald Trump. So he is motivated by the hidden areas in the life, about something dirty tricks, properly stated. So there is also a probability of some kind of corruption, some kind of Russian interference, of, if we want to talk about this. So this means that he is really motivated by some hidden forces, or hidden nature of the people, like some dark side of the people. So usually he find motivation in fear, in divisive behavior. So he wants to divide and conquer usually, and it like impacts the dirty nature of the people. So this 12th house, it's about this manipulative side of the Donald Trump. So this is his key progressions of the Donald Trump. So let's switch to the Joe Biden and see his natural characteristic and his powerful sides. So Joe Biden versus Trump, he is introverted person. So we have a lot of planets in the not active sign. So we have Sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Moon, all located in the passive signs, which makes the Biden a true introverted person. So for the introverted person, usually the key things is the observation, the power of observation, and usually such personalities are, very boring actually, and very bureaucrat oriented. So it's kind of less shiny style than Donald Trump, obviously. So let's go to the key highlight aspects by the fixed stars. So Joe Biden, as well as Donald Trump, has a conjunction with the star Procyon. So his Jupiter is conjunct with Procyon. So this is a very powerful star which highlights the personality and truly makes the personality highlighted to be successful. So Joe Biden is really a very powerful guy through his beginning of his career. He is like the younger senator in the United States, and he pretty much had a great career and bureaucratic like success in his life. So we have also a lot of patterns in his chart. So let's go through this. So Sun, Venus, and Mercury are located in the 12th house in the sign of Scorpio. So it means the spiritual power of some after losses. So we know the tragedies in his life with wife, with sons. So it's really powered through some tragedies. So Scorpio and 12th house is usually a combination of something which need to be religious person to overcome some difficulties. So definitely Biden is kind of very spiritual person after all of these losses in his life. Um, so this makes him really like the personality who wants to heal something, to who wants to make the peace somewhere. Um, so this is kind of his traits. Also, he has the Neptune in the 10th house. So for the politics, it's the same configuration which has John Fitzgerald Kennedy. So he also had the Neptune in 10th house. So it means that this is idealistic view to the social organization. So Biden really believes in the social justice system. He's a truly believer of welfare economy. So for the some medication for all or something like this. So he is truly not so open free market as Donald Trump. So he about the social justice through the government system. So Neptune in the 10th house make the person truly believer in some idealistic views, and this is a huge part of his personality because he's in the Democratic Party, and this is uh, kind of key thing for Democratic Party. So also Joe Biden has the, as we discussed earlier for the highlighted stars, Joe Biden has the Chiron with the fixed star Regulus, and it's kind of highlight his diplomatic powers. So he is a true diplomatic. He is strong in foreign relationships. So definitely he oriented on the foreign relationship of United States as well. So regarding the ability to talk for the Joe Biden, it's kind of his weak point because he has actually Mercury in the Scorpio in the 12th house, and he has the South Node in the Pisces in third house. So this is means the combinations of the person which had the problem to talk and the problem to express themselves. And as we know, Biden really has these problems, but um, after some time, especially with progressions, he has this strong ability to make speeches as well, but there is usually this concern about his ability to talk and cognitive functions, which mentioned by Trump. So, and overall introverted personality. Also, we can talk about the Sleepy Joe because he's introverted chart, a little bit boring style. Um, Also, Joe Biden has the trine with Sun and Jupiter trine. This is a very good position, especially for moral leadership. So he's truly decent person and believes in it. And for him, it's hard to use some dirty tricks. So he's very powerful and diplomatic and very diplomatic way to gain the power, but he is not very great in the dirty tricks of politics. Let's go to the progressions of Joe Biden. So here we can find the Venus and Moon located in the first house. So this is make the person oriented to the peace, oriented to the healing of the nation. So this is really calm downs of the any charts. So his will and motivation is to calm down everybody. So even with his appearance, he's kind of calmed down. So that is why his Venus and Moon in Pisces is extremely calming feature of his motivation now. Also, he has Mercury, progressive Mercury in the Capricorn, as well as Mars progressive in Capricorn as well. So he is a natural bureaucrat. So he's really motivated by the system. So he wants that the system of the United States would be like great as as previously. So he's not like anti-system candidate. So he's really true bureaucrat, and this is a little bit boring, but this is something that somebody can say that he's bureaucrat, so he fits to be the president and fits to be official. So this is kind of these things. Also, we have the Uranus and Saturn in the third house. So now we see that instead of birth chart predispositions which we have, and currently he has Uranus and Saturn in third house in progression. So that is why he is much more efficient in his speeches. Sometimes it's a little bit boring, but he has this strong ability to make the even historical speeches as well. So so there is the personalities. So let's summarize the personality of Trump versus Biden. So Trump is extrovert, Biden is introvert person. So this is the first difference. The second one is approach to life. So Trump is truly believer of individualistic approach to life, and Biden is about the social justice, about the government system which helps to poor people or some kind of this democratic approach. The third one is the personal style. So the Trump has this extremely like aggressive, competitive, and challenging lifestyle. And Biden versus Trump has a little bit calmed down, a little bit boring, bureaucrat approach. But for somebody, it's considered as like more competent. So Trump is kind of truly showman, even according to astrology, and Biden is truly like bureaucrat in this time. So this is in the nutshell of the characterization from the natal chart, and go farther to the predictions. So let's go to the prediction and see what the prediction methods saying about the 2020 presidential elections, who will win, Biden and Trump. So let's overview the solar chart. So this is the solar return. So when we have the birthday, we have the exact return of the sun on the same point when we are born. So this would be the agenda for the next years. So let's see what would be the agenda for the next year for Donald Trump. So he have his return on the 13th of June 2020, and he has the Mars and Neptune conjunction in the sign of Pisces in this chart, which is in square to the his sun. It's not very good combination. It usually signifies some frustrations in life, some disappointments, some kind of lies, and like attempt to do something like attempt to steal elections probably. So here is the Mars and Neptune combination. It's the huge combination of disappointment actually. And Moon in the Pisces as well signifies this disappointment. Also, he have the Uranus in the 10th house, which caused the tension regarding his job. So usually it's some kind of changes in professional or career life. So there is a high probability, according to solar return, that it would be like disappointing year for the Donald Trump. Another side, the Donald Trump has the Mercury conjunct the star of Sirius. It's a very important and influential star, but I'm not sure that it would be enough to win the election because there is a lot of signs of disappointment, and there is also the Saturn retrograde Saturn in the seventh house, and Pluto opposing the ascendant, and actually this ascendant is the same degree as as natal at the birth chart Saturn in the Trump's chart. And there is a position from the Pluto. So it's a very disappointing return for the Donald Trump. So it could be a lot of problematic for him to win with such a solar return chart. So let's navigate and see what is the solar return for Joe Biden, and is if he have more great solar return. So let's see his returns, and now we can check that he has the Venus and Jupiter conjunction in the Sagittarius. So it's pretty much great combination actually to win. So if we go to examples and recent examples, the president of Ukraine was elected during such period when Venus and Jupiter is in conjunction in the solar return. So Joe Biden have the similar combination. On the other hand, he had the Mars in opposition with Uranus, which is pretty much like challenging and competitive time. It is really requires a lot of struggle, a lot of activity from the Joe Biden, but I suggest it's not a sign that it like a problem. And it's also had the combination like with Moon, because Moon is in trine to the Uranus and in sextile to the Mars. So this combination, when two planets is in opposition and then they making trine and sextile to the third planet, this is usually a very powerful combination of some win with the struggle and competition. So Venus and Jupiter is extremely benefic in this approach. So we can predict that for Joe Biden, it's much more favorable solar return for the 2020 presidential elections. Let's go to the transits. Transits usually define the context of the situation. So the key configuration now in the world is the conjunction of Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn in all the sign of Capricorn. And this combination usually, which defines the presidential elections as well, and its impact on the candidates' charts. So let's see the Donald Trump transits. So all of these combinations, so Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn, all of this combination is in opposition to the Venus and Saturn conjunction in his chart, which makes a pretty much challenging and competitive time. So this is extremely challenging period of time for Donald Trump, and Venus is the ruler of his 10th house. So there is a high probability that the circumstances would not be well for Donald Trump. So this is a very high risk for him. So this is one of the key significations that there would be the problem for the Donald Trump re-elections. So Moon in transits is through the 10th house in the election day of 3rd of November. However, it means that the Trump will be very optimistic in the beginning, and when the Moon is passes to the Saturn to the Venus, there would be more like disappointing results. So as usually, as per information in the news, so there is a high probability that the first results will be really optimistic for Trump, but then in the end of the elections he will lose. So this is his transits, and it's also we need to emphasize this configuration which is on opposition to the ruler of 10th house. So let's go to the Biden chart and see what we have in the Biden transits. So let's see the Biden chart. Let's find the B wheels, animate B wheel, and we will see the information for the 3rd of November. Let's place Washington, D.C. So here is the transits for the Joe Biden. So here, this all of the configuration of Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn is in opposition to the Jupiter of Joe Biden. So this is also the challenging period. So usually the opposition is not so like bad. This is like the planetary aspect of the challenging period of time. And it's extremely challenging for both of the candidates, so that is why we see that the whole circumstances, the whole context of the situations is highlighted through these two personalities. That is why we previously saw in the Donald Trump, it's the whole opposition to his Venus and Saturn, and for Joe Biden, it's opposition to his Jupiter. And Jupiter in his chart is the ruler of first house. So this is also one of the really hard aspect. However, for Joe Biden, we also have that Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn, all of these combinations make not only the opposition, but it makes also the sextile to the Sun, to the Mercury, and to the Venus. So this is the combination when this planet makes both the opposition and sextiles. And it makes this a pretty much fortunate aspect when you can win something through the challenge. And this is much more fortune here in the chart of the Joe Biden as well. And his moon is through the 7th house, and it also means that he will be a little bit hesitated in the beginning of the results. So also we have the Sun conjunct his Mars. So Mars is a very important planet in the Joe Biden's chart because it's the dispositor of the Sun, Mercury, and Venus. And Mars is located in the 11th house, and it's also like highlighted his personality, his ability to win these elections. So pretty much as per this information, we can also emphasize that North Node is through the 7th house, which gives a lot of luck in any elections or any decisions, like court decisions, elections, or anything which have like choosing one from two options. So yes, Joe Biden transits is pretty much fortunate for him. So let's go to the next forecast astrological method. It's the eclipses. So there would be two eclipses after election. It's 30 November 2020. So here we can find that moon. This is the moon eclipse. So moon would be under the 10th house of the Donald Trump. So moon eclipse usually signifies the ending of some habits or some period of life which related to the topic. So here in Donald Trump 10th house, the moon from the eclipse, it signifies not pretty good news for the Donald Trump because it's ending in some related to professional or career oriented and to much more dedication to the 4th house actions. So he will be thinking um, about relocation probably or moving from the White House. So it's kind of significations that he has problems with elections. So eclipse is also not so great for the Donald Trump. So this is the 30 November moon eclipse. So let's see how it works for Joe Biden as the same eclipse chart. So let's oversee the key patterns. So here is the end of the election periods for the Joe Biden. So actually it is because Moon is in seventh house, so it's kind of ending of like elections or some hesitations. And Sun is in first house, which actually matters that more active approach to life of personality. So probably there is would be a lot of actions to do from Joe Biden after his election. What else we see? So we see that Jupiter and Saturn make the sextile to the Sun. So this is also pretty much good aspect for the Joe Biden as well. And we also see the key configuration, what should be highlighted, that the moon actually is conjuncted with Saturn. Saturn usually signifies the politics, the government, and any conjunction with such point is very crucial and highlights the personality. So it's probably also the good sign for the Joe Biden, this aspect actually. So according to the eclipse, moon eclipse on the 30 November, it's much more preferable that farther after elections, Biden would be preparing to become like the president for inauguration. Let's see also the next solar eclipse, which would happen on 15th of December, the next one, and let's see how it would be impact the Donald Trump chart. So here we see that the sun and moon is conjuncted with the birth chart moon of the Donald Trump, and it's in fourth house. So it's activated actually the issues related to the moving, to the real estate. So this is pretty much also the sign of some kind of new life or new residence usually. And it's in opposition to the sun. So it's kind of also not very good sign for Donald Trump because it means that it's really something new with his home. So like new home, new residence. So it means that he will relocate and moves in the next quarter of the year. So this is also not a very good sign for the President Donald Trump, according to the stars. So let's see what aspects have the Joe Biden. So Joe Biden has this conjunction in the first house. So this conjunction is in first house, and we also see that Jupiter and Saturn making the trine to the Neptune actually here. So it would be much more. So when Jupiter and Saturn would be in conjunction, which would be like pretty much in December 2020, there would be the conjunction, there would be the trine to the birth chart Neptune in 10th house for Joe Biden. So it's emphasized that he had a great chance to succeed, and it's really kind of inauguration stuff actually. And Sun and Moon through the first house of the Joe Biden, it also kind of signifies that he is likely to be elected, actually, as per this combination, because you see there is a lot of highlighted of the first house, and first house usually signifies the personality, the requirements to do something. So it's pretty much the combination when Joe Biden would be in focus, preparing to inauguration probably. And yes, and also we need to emphasize that the eclipse Venus would be in conjunction with birth chart Venus and birth chart Sun. So it's also one of the very fortunate signs for the Joe Biden here. So according to 15 December eclipse, it's also very fortunate actually for Joe Biden. So let's see. So let's actually summarize what we see in the methods of forecast according to astrology without any political like predisposition. So we see that in the solar return, Trump chart is much more disappointing than Biden. So this 2020 year would be much more fortunate for Joe Biden than for Donald Trump, obviously, according to the solar return chart. According to transits, there is also a combination of Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto opposition to both candidates. So it's opposition to the Venus and Saturn conjunction in the Joe Biden in the Donald Trump chart. However, it's opposition to the Joe Biden's Jupiter. However, in Joe Biden's, it also makes the sextile to the Sun, Venus, and Mercury. So it's kind of combination of two sides. It's challenge, it's competition. However, it's also the win. And into eclipses, which would be farther after election in the 30 November of 2020 and 15 December of 2020, we see also the more fortunate aspects for the Joe Biden. So definitely, here is the results of astrological forecast according to all methods. You just see it, and you can check it after elections. So Joe Biden uh, would win according to astrological methodology predictions. Also, we need to summarize that these elections will come up in the year when Jupiter and Saturn conjunction happens. So it happens each 20 years, and there is some the mystics according about the presidential elections on the year which contains zero in its number. For example, John Fitzgerald Kennedy was elected when in 1960s, and he not served all term presidential term. So the same we can forecast in this case as well for Joe Biden. So it's pretty much the high probability that he would not serve all of the presidential term in the office. Uh, so uh, so we will need to see what is the next coming up. So subscribe to our channel, push the like buttons, and have a lucky stars, guys. Thank you for watching.